Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge.
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
And let's talk horror.
So today we're doing our review on Aphasia 2024 film.
Possibly 2025. Not 100% sure yet, but a little synopsis of the film. Following a failed attempt to unalive herself, Sarah watches herself leave her body and become an empty vessel for anything to crawl in. When she re-enters her body, she learns that she is not alone.
So we just want to throw this warning out. There is the self-harm. So if this is a trigger for you, please, we just want to throw that out there. Like Ken said, she does try to unalive herself. So if that is triggering for you, we want you to know that this is a part of the film.
Right. So we just wanted to throw that out there. It's a sensitive subject, so it's very essential to the film. So we just needed to let you guys know that's in there. But obviously we're going to talk about our positives, negatives, some spoilers, and our overall final thoughts. So let's get started with our positives.
So some of our positives, there's some really nice practical effects. There's a scene where a demon is like hitting is it a priest? I think it's the priest,
yeah, or his
something,
friend.
a part of the church, because they're coming out of the church, but he's hitting him with the book, and it kind of cuts and it goes back to him, and he's bloodier and bloodier. It looks really good.
Yeah, one of the cooler, there's a lot of nice, like you said, practical effects, kills throughout the movie, and the makeup work is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The makeup work throughout Aphasia is absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely. Like when she unlives herself, like they do really good with the scars that she has.
And they seem to get darker and darker as the movie goes. I wonder if that's important at all.
Maybe.
So yeah, I think the makeup work all around is, and we'll talk more about this stuff in the spoilers for sure, but there's a lot of great makeup work throughout the film.
Absolutely. You know, I always talk about scores. Score definitely is something that I listen for. And this actually has a really great score. It goes, you know, it makes scenes more intense. Sad scenes, it makes them more intense as well. So yeah.
As a father, I was really attracted to the character of the dad.
Yeah.
I feel like he's genuine. He's nice. He really loves his daughter, and he would do anything to help her out. He was one of my favorite characters in the film. He could give you a laugh, but you knew that he could be there for you to depend on him. So the dad is a really good feel-good character throughout the movie. Very well-written character and portrayed very, very well.
Yeah, you definitely did get the dad feel like he was a big teddy bear. And
yeah.
He loved his daughter more than anything. Like, you definitely got that.
He would do anything for her.
Absolutely. There's lots of homages to other horror movies, and we'll get more into this in the spoilers, but just movies that we grew up on that we loved as kids.
Couple of moments where we were definitely like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, like, so there was definitely a couple of those moments out there. And there's this little mini demon in the movie, and it really made me laugh out loud. Like when I don't want to get too much into the scene, but one of our good guys that's too cool for school runs into the mini demon, and they have a little fight, and it's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's hilarious, it's funny, it's fantastic. So those are some of our positives about Aphasia, but obviously there's no such thing as a perfect movie. So now we're going to get into some of our negatives about Aphasia. So like I said, we got to have some negatives, and this movie has a lot of really weird cuts. Like, it seems like it cuts before the scene is actually over, and a lot of fade outs.
Yeah.
Again, Ash and I are not huge fans of fade outs in movies. There's a lot of fade outs in this movie, so it's just something I'm not a fan of. Some people probably wouldn't bother them as much, but when you have a lot of these weird cuts and fade outs, I just was not a huge fan of that.
There's also a lot of moments of audio drop. Like, I literally am like, is there something wrong with my hearing? Like, you can see his, you know, the mouth's moving, but the audio is just dropped. And I was just like, what's going on here? Why does that keep happening?
Right. So I don't know if that's maybe supposed to be part of the film, or if, you know, something happened in the copy we got, because it was really weird. Like, the audio would completely drop out. Like, you couldn't hear anything at all. You could see the lips moving, couldn't hear anything at all. It's a slow burn. Again, not a bad thing. But there's a lot of filler time, and scenes are longer than they need to be. You know, I applaud anybody that makes a film. Making a film is extremely hard.
Absolutely.
And this could have been maybe 20 minutes shorter, or filled in some other characters that we didn't totally get flushed out. So, you know, I feel like some of the scenes could have been cut.
Yeah. Some of the comedy, it felt like we were going, I don't know, we were trying too hard to make it comical, and it didn't land.
Right. Yeah, I feel like in a movie like this, don't try to be funny.
No. This is something more serious, especially when people are unliving themselves and it's like a traumatic type thing. Like comedy like that, it just feels forced.
Right. And yeah, and a lot of it, like I said, it didn't land. But a movie as dark as this, it's now no fault of the movies. It's just a very dark movie. And when you're getting into that darkness, I think you should kind of rest there. That's where you should simmer and let it boil, is in the darkness of the film. A lot of very solid acting throughout the movie, but there are some very weak moments of acting as well. There are certain moments where you're just like, that was, could have went a little harder on that one. But again, very low budget. And nothing but love and respect. Like I said, we're not trying to slam anybody here, but we got to be honest with you guys. It's this what we're paid to do, essentially. And not really paid, but you know what I'm saying? We're paid to do. And it's just, there's a lot of scenes that you're like, it could have been done a little bit better.
Yeah.
But again, they made a film. They went out and did the damn thing. So good for them. And now we're going to spoil the damn film.
Yes,
so if you don't want spoilers, cut off now. We have all their links down in the description. So that way you can be notified when the film is getting its public release. But if you've already seen the movie, or if you don't care about spoilers, we're going to the spoilers.
Let's do this. So now we're spoiling stuff. There's a scene where the demon actually goes in through Sarah's mouth, and it looks absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Very scary. Just thinking about something like that freaks me out. Like even thinking about like a spider crawling in my mouth freaks me out. So a demon, fuck that.
And it was, like I said, the practical effects.
Looks good.
Top notch. Looked really, really good. We talked earlier about how there's homages to other horror movies. A diner scene in this movie feels like a huge love letter to the Evil Dead franchise, and I was all for it. I loved it. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what we're talking about. If you haven't seen the movie, the minute you see that diner scene, you're going to know exactly what we're talking about. It is a huge love letter to the Evil Dead franchise, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
It was so well done.
There's a couple different scenes of puking on people. Ew. Yeah. It's just nasty. Nasty.
Not very good.
No.
So gross. Sarah, so we didn't get too much into the characters.
Yeah.
But Sarah, she moves back to her hometown after her attempt to unalive herself. And she reconnects with her friend Jackie, who's one of the characters we really wish could have got fleshed out a little more.
Yeah.
At least their relationship. What caused their relationship to go as south as it did. Because you could tell they're on a rocky road. And it doesn't matter if they're friends or lovers.
Yeah.
We don't care.
No.
But I would have liked that confirmation, because you kind of get the feeling that they were in love.
Yeah. But I mean, it's her best friend too. Like best friends have that kind of love as well. So.
And like I said, it's really not important.
Right.
Whether they were lovers, whether they were friends, that's not important to the story. So good for them for, leaving it a mystery, but
it's still sad whether you love your best friend
romantically or platonically.
Yeah, it's still, that's your best friend.
Right. So I guess what I'm saying is it didn't matter really, but I would have liked to have known what caused their relationship to go sour.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying with this. I don't care if it was a friend relationship, a lover's relationship. The chemistry between the two of them is great either way. But Sarah ends up killing Jackie in the film in a really sad scene that's really well done.
Yeah.
The back and forth between being possessed and the real world of what is really happening versus what Sarah is seeing is really well done. That must have been a great, fun couple of days on set, because the way they bounce back and forth between what possessed Sarah is seeing versus what is really happening in reality looked really good. So I really dug that too. But it's sad. You feel bad for Jackie.
You do, for sure. Well, and Sarah too, she just killed her best friend, who she obviously really cares about.
She does.
There's also a priest that gets possessed, and it is terrifying. He looks really good. The makeup was really great, and it's scary. Like, just think about, the priest is the one that is supposed to get the demons out of you, and then he gets possessed himself. Like, that concept is really cool.
That juxtaposition, the purity of a priest becoming possessed by evil, that's something nightmares are made of.
Absolutely.
But the demon, I really do like the look of the demon. The demon looks fantastic. Again, practical. And they don't know, sometimes what you don't see is better than what you see.
Yeah.
So the way that they were able to scour it in shadows but still make it look really good, I really, really liked that.
There's a part where Sarah's actually like breaking her fingers, and it makes you like cringe a little, very uncomfortable scene, but it looks really cool.
Again, very uncomfortable because you're getting the noises and the people around her. You know, they're doing. It's a great scene.
Yeah. I don't know, stuff like bone and stuff like that, it freaks me out. Like, I can deal with blood and guts, but once bones start breaking, it's like, ugh.
Yeah. And I will say about the ending of this movie, we're obviously not going to tell you what happens at the end. That's what dickheads do. We're not going to do that. But what I will say is the ending reminded me of a American Werewolf in London meets The Mist. You know, like a really dark, depressing ending.
What a crazy combination.
Yeah, like it's definitely, it's one of those endings where you're just like, what?
Yeah.
That's the route they chose to go, which can be a positive for some people. It can be a negative for some people. Personally, I like the ending. I feel like there's no way to end this movie with sunshine and rainbows. The way that they ended the movie is how the movie should have ended. Yeah. So
plus, you like depressing endings.
I do.
He's an emo kid.
It is what it is. Now I'm like an elder emo. I'm not an emo kid anymore.
Yeah, that's true. At heart.
Right. So overall, again, you guys made a film. Aphasia was great. We enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5. I'm very proud of the team for what they were able to do on the shoestring budget that they had. I wanted a little bit more originality from the film. Possession is my favorite type of film, but there was nothing that really sets this apart from other possession type films. Definitely think it's worth a watch, just for the practical and makeup effects alone. And like I said, the homages to the other horror movies are absolutely fantastic. The demon scene, there's a lot of great things in this movie. A lot of great things, but there's a lot of things that aren't so great as well. So I've seen much worse. Yeah. Obviously, I've seen much better. But this is a movie that I think it deserves your time. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5.
I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5. Like you said, the makeup effects are really great. The score is amazing. And you do have you feel really bad for Sarah. Like you do feel bad for her. So yeah. Especially
once you have the unaliving scene. It's just a scene that bothers me. I feel like that out of everything that happened in the movie, the unaliving scene was the most unrealistic. Yeah. The way that people reacted to it. So
yeah, they're just like staring there, like just staring. Yeah.
But again, people handle shock in different ways.
Absolutely.
But again, Ashley and I, it's never our goal to shit on something. That's not what we do. We go into it looking for positives, and this movie had plenty of positives to go and watch. So make sure, like I said, you're following the social media team. It's all down in the description. That way you can stay up to date on when the film is going to get released. And when we do have a worldwide release date, obviously Sledgehammer Horror will update you. The best way you can do that, because if you haven't already, you should like and subscribe. It really helps to build our channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. That's how we can keep you updated about when the film is released. Those links are down in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror.
Stay who you are.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.